All right.
Back in for the ninth.
Let's do it.
Got our good luck charm Mike here, man. We're riding your wave, brother. We're still riding your wave.
3 outs. We still got 3 outs, boys.
Let's do this. Come on. Come on now. Let's go.
Man, I hope Pagán can be sharp tonight. I'm glad they're bringing him in. This looks. Oh, that's the first high socks guy I've seen. Those socks are sick.
Yeah. I love the socks with the hat, boy. I love that hat.
Yeah, that's a sick one. Oh, gets a call to start it off. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's definitely been a little bit of a stretch strike zone tonight. That outside pitch has been he's been very gracious with it, I guess I should say.
Yeah, and leave it to a struggling guy to be the one that does it. But I'd rather see them get after an umpire in a win and start fighting and showing a little bit of combativeness the way Spencer Steer got in the umpire a little bit. He was pissed early on the swing and strike too, on the check swing. So I mean, it's just seeing the opportunity there to see some dudes have some fire and feel like they care. It's awesome.
Did they call a check swing safe at all tonight? I think every single check swing they did, my man gave him the K.
There you go.
I think
I saw swing and a miss. Let's go.
I was in the ballpark for a little bit tonight, and I swear I saw Trevino. He's like, it wasn't even close to a check. Like the guy just barely moved his hands, and Trevino like got real enthusiastic and pointed down to third base, like sarcastically, like if you're going to call one, call that one too.
Right. Might as well call them all.
Gave it to him, yeah.
There you go. That's dirty by Pagán. All right, come on, 2 more outs here.
Oh, we got a high fly ball. Does it stay in? No, that's out.
He had one in the ninth last night too.
Yeah, right. Easy with that, man. My heart drops every time.
That's all right. It's a solo. That's all right. We got 3-run cushion here. Come on, Emilio. Our boy Calvin Metcalf, I think, is on the game day train here as well.
All right, everybody needs to like the stream, please.
Yes.
Oh, there
like
you
it.
go.
Let's figure it out. Hey, get your specialty
friends.
beverages ready, boys. This is a Saturday night victory. We're lining up.
Right.
Saturday night victory. Let's go.
We got it.
Here it is. Oh, you cracked it early, Corey.
I cracked it early, baby. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's go.
No.
Let's go. Let's go. We're doing this.
We got 2 outs. Here we go.
Come on.
Taste of victory. Come on now. Let's go.
Let's do it.
I'm speaking this into existence. That's what's going on over here.
That's right. That's right.
I think I've got some La Rosas from the ballpark right here, right in the middle of my shirt. I'm ready to go. Come on, Emilio. Let's get strike one. Get strike one. I love it.
Are we getting the grand reveal? Are we getting the grand reveal of the bobblehead later on in this? Later,
he'll start the show.
Piece.
He'll start it. He'll start in camera for me.
Okay, I like it.
Our ballpark correspondent went.
Over 37,000 in there tonight. It was
really
it was
nice.
Yeah, I'd say the atmosphere was great. A lot of guards.
2, let's go. Come on.
Well, they just showed a shot of the guards leaving. A bunch of people already heading for the exit. Come on,
trying to beat some traffic. There's a monster truck rally at the arena tonight too, so you got to get out of there. I think we're gonna like the way this one ends, boys. Come on. Come on,
Emilio.
We got a 1-2 count.
I feel like this is a big one, boys. I feel like this is a big one right here.
On their feet. Look at 37,000 people standing up on their feet, trying to get a final out here. Collectively come together.
Come on. Bring him up.
Rivers are better than lakes any day of the week. Let's do this. Come on. Come on. I don't think that one's got the distance.
Oh, I don't think that's going to do it. Emilio, let's go.
We'll catch you on the other side of a 1:30 break here. See y'all in a minute.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the Laurent Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did. He did. Reds win. The first run ever with 4 home
There he goes, my man.
Get him going, baby. Let's do this.
I love it. I love it. Welcome back to another episode of Chatterbox Reds, proudly sponsored by DSC Commodities on what is another great night at the ballpark. A 4-1 win for your Cincinnati Reds. Second straight win over the Cleveland Indians. Third straight win overall. It feels like we're getting the ball rolling, boys. Hard not to be excited. I'm joined by my younger but less handsome brother, Eric Phillips, and my guy, Mike Hart, our new good luck charm. So, hey, what a good night at the ballpark, boys. This is fun. Fun to do in the winning editions.
Hey, cheers to you, boys. I got them right here. If everybody's got their beverages, cheers to you, chat. We're going to have a good night tonight. Here we go.
Yes, sir.
Right.
No, always fun.
Tastes like victory.
Love it. Yeah, seeing a super chat already. And Ohio belongs to who?
Your Cincinnati Reds. Let's go. Let's go.
Right. That's
There
right.
it is. Rivers over lakes, baby. Come on. Let's do this.
Rivers
We're having a lot of fun here, man. It's a lot of fun. You see a 4-1 victory in a night where things didn't go as expected, and that was from Jump Street. We get the late message last night that we're going to see Brent Suter flips around, and we're expecting Chase Petty, and that's not what we get this evening. But it's awesome to see. It's fun. It's a momentum ride. We'll get into a rundown here in a minute. Mike, you got any initial thoughts?
Yeah, I was shocked to see. I was just waiting for Petty to come in, and I think initially we'll talk about it a little bit more, but I think this was just Tito being like, "Hey, this is a chance here. We got a chance here to steal one here. Our Suter's given us more length than we even thought of, and so he just said, "All right, let's go for it." And I think that's a Tito decision. That if we're looking for things that would be different this year than I think it would have been last year with David Bell, I think this is a great example of one. Right? This is one where Tito had the feel. He was just like, Suter is mowing him down. Let's keep him out there and see how much length we can get. And I think that is, for as much as we like to rag on some of his other decisions that he's made, I think that he, like his playing right there, his moving of the chessboard around really, really gave the Reds an advantage today.
And I love the fact that the Cleveland Indians had to sit and watch him be the master of chess. There's just something sweet about doing it against his old squad. But you're exactly right. You got to love the way Tito managed the bullpen today, man. And doing it against the old squad, it's got to make it just that much sweeter.
Absolutely, and we're going to call them the Indians several times tonight. So those who are out and against this, just go ahead and start a tally over there in the chat. We'll keep it running. But I'm going to get us into.
We're trying our best.
Yeah, we are going to try our best. The old habits die hard here. I'll get us into a little bit of a box score recap. Your Cincinnati Redlegs face off against the Cleveland Guardians. Cincinnati comes into the game 23-24. The Guardians come in, 22-24. The Guardians come in 25 and 19. And so Redlegs were again positive on the money line, not expected to win this game according to bettors. Get a 640 start, over 37,000 people in the ballpark. A lot of Reds fans going home happy, also going home with a couple of these guys, as it was NASCAR night and also military appreciation weekend. But a really good atmosphere, beautiful weather. Couldn't ask for a better night for baseball in the metropolis. But kind of a quiet start. Game goes really quickly, especially the way Brent Suter was working. He gives us 3 innings of no-run baseball. Does give up 4 hits, but works around those. Does have 1 strikeout. Doesn't walk anybody. And so not quite a quality start because he didn't have that much length, but what he did gave the Reds the opportunity to make some drastic decisions that these guys were talking about later, where you had Chase Petty up in the bullpen all night and just decided to never use him and just ride what has been the strength of this team all year long, and that's our bullpen. And so really excited to get into that conversation later. But according to the box score, your Reds do win 4-1. It was a quiet first 3 innings. Then we get in actually a quiet first 4 innings. And it wasn't until the top of the 5th off of Leon Richardson when Daniel Schneemann hits a home run for the Guards over the right field wall. And that makes it 1-0, what used to be the Tribe. Then we get to the bottom of the 5th. And a little bit of our boy, they call him Willie Beeman.
Willie Beeman.
Here we go, baby. He ties it up with another moonshot out to right, or with another laser shot out to right field. His 3rd home run on the year. I believe that's 11 if you're counting his minor league home runs as well, which would lead the team. But Willie, 3rd home run or 3rd game with a home run in a row. It's awesome to see. Really brought the juice back to the ballpark. It was actually as I was walking out across the arena platform, the fireworks are going off behind me, and I was listening to it on the radio. So really awesome to see. But then we take that to the bottom of the 6th. We have starter Slade Ciccone. He does make it 5 innings, and in the 6th, they start to bring in Cade Smith, and Espinal gets it started when he singles off of a line drive. or singles the line drive, and TJ Friedl scores, making it 2-1 Reds. And then Austin Hayes doubles on a ball that caroms off the wall, comes back into the infield, making it 3-1 Reds. Next round of scoring comes in the bottom of the 7th when Rhys Hines homers on a deep fly ball to center field that was absolutely crushed.
Yeah, it was
4-1 Reds. And that ends up being your ball game. Tony Santiago delivers an inning. Graham Ashcraft delivers an inning. Luis May delivers an inning. Leon Richardson goes 2, gives up 3 hits, does have an earned run in there and that home run to Schneemann. But Emilio Pagán gets another save. And there we go, boys. That is 9 innings worth of baseball in about 6:40, 2 hours, probably 2 hours, 15 minutes or so is about what it took to get it in. But it moved quickly. It was fun. It felt like we were down. I said it last night. I want to see us win a game where we have to come from behind. We didn't score first, still scored more. And therefore, your Cincinnati Redlegs take the first 2 games of the Ohio Cup in the 6 games that we'll have against them this year. So welcome, chat. Welcome in, everybody. Corey T, how's it feel?
It feels great, man. I ain't gonna lie. It was, and I actually had that marked as a starting point too. Not scoring first and still coming out with a win. That's definitely a positive, and it's not a coincidence that Will Benson to homers 3 straight games and we end up with 3 straight wins. That is not a coincidence. My man is providing the spark. He's bringing it back. Austin Hayes providing the spark. Santiago Espinal we'll get into a little bit later, providing some of the small ball and that sort of. It's just great to see a complete team win, from pitching to small ball hitting to driving in runs deep. It's fun to watch, man. It's hard not to get excited. I'll be honest with you, Mike. What do you think?
Oh yeah, it's one of those where you got exactly what I feel like you got exactly what we're asking for from the Benson and Hines, right? These guys that strike out a bunch, but they have the ability to run into one, and that's the difference. And we're used to Hurtubise and Dunn, which they're running into one is a fly out to left field, and Benson and Hines running into one is the difference in the game. So I couldn't be more thrilled. I know we had some strikeouts. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that, but we're going to focus on the positive here. It was one of those where the whole game, as soon as that first run came on, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little dejected. I was like, oh boy, here we go. That we needed to score first, I thought. But then, the way they came back, the way that they showed energy, the different ways they decided to score through small ball and the long ball and things like that. That was a really complete team win. I mean, literally, almost the whole bullpen had to pitch. So that was just it was a really fun way to win a game against your in-state rival.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like the Guardians are a bad team. You know what I mean? Like you said, they come in with a winning record. They're 6 games over 500, and they were on a heater coming in, and we put a stop to that. I mean, you take a series at home. We've not played well at home this year. We've been out homered at home. In these last couple games, what have we done? We've out homered our opponent. Warmer weather. It's getting better. I thought maybe Ellie would continue his hit streak tonight. Not so much. He takes 4 of the 15 strikeouts I think we have on the game, but really awesome to see, it doesn't have to come from your stars. It wasn't McLean. It wasn't Ellie. It wasn't even Trevino. It was Will Benson. It was Rhys Hines. It was Santiago Espinal, and it was Austin Hayes from the sticks. I mean, and that's just a massive contribution up and down the lineup, all 25 guys. Really fun to see. You can't say enough about it. I think tonight we're going to get into our deep drive of the game here in a moment. We're going to get into a little bit more about Willie Benson. I don't know how much more we could say after we talked about him last night, but when you homer 3 games in a row, guess what? You're a part of the rundown. And then we'll get into Brent Suter absolutely setting the table for us and what he did on a night. I think Corey's got it written down here as suited up for Military Appreciation Night. Very, very cleverly said, very punny. But then in topic 4, we get into playing that little bit of small ball that it seems like has escaped us all year. So a lot of fun. Ride the wave while it's high. But man, I want to see these guys stay thirsty and go out looking for blood. We need to snap some necks tomorrow. Step on a throat and get it figured out.
Yeah, just some numbers. You mentioned they were hot coming. They had won 10 of their 10. They were 10-5 in their last 15 games, and the Reds were 5-10 coming into this series. So it seemed like it was 2 teams going in the opposite direction with opposite trajectories that have now the Reds have changed it up here in these series. That's what's just so exciting about it. It's like they, after that disappointing loss of a series, it's just something that, came back and took it to a really good team.
And I'm just looking at some of the numbers. Like I think we had a higher team batting average and runs scored and the run differential. I think they have a negative run differential. We obviously have a positive run differential. So looking at those numbers, it looked like it could play out in our favor. And man, am I glad to finally see it start coming to fruition a little bit. Great. Strikeouts are still up. That's definitely something we're going to have to work on as the year goes on. But like you say, Mike, we're going to stay positive here, man. And it was a great night. It's fun to be a Reds fan right now. But getting into the DSC deep drive of the game, we did have a couple different options. I had Willie Benson pretty much penciled in until Rhett Hines decided to send that rocket.
423. That one is 423, 109 off the bat. That one's
so we good with.
I think that's the definition of a deep drive.
If you were going to draw a picture of a deep drive of the game, it would definitely be Rhett Hines' solo shot. We're traveling 423 feet, like Mike said, 109.8 off the bat. So Rhett Hines is your DSC deep drive of the game. Our deep drive of the day is sponsored by Deep South Commodities. Deep South Commodities is a leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information. And as always, thanks to our friends at DSC. It looks like we might have had a little bit of technical difficulties down there. He was
so overjoyed about how well Rhett Hines hit that his earbud stopped working. So that he couldn't contain himself that they ran out of battery. So
he's charged up, but his batteries aren't. Yeah,
that's right. We can keep going. I think he'll be along to join us here soon.
Absolutely. But just rolling right along, man. Getting into there he comes, my guy. Welcome back.
Damn AirPods going back and forth on my phone. That's my bad, guys.
No, it's all good.
Forgot to shut off the Bluetooth on my phone. I'm so excited. I had to go get another beer too. So
that's right. That's right.
And there's never anything wrong with that. We were just joking that you were charged up, but your earbuds weren't. So, but yeah, we just finished talking about the deep drive of the game and getting into Benson again. We're starting to get repetitive on our Google Doc boys because it seems like we're saying the same things over and over again. Willie Benson getting into the bullpen. It's night in and night out. I love the consistency. I'll talk about it every night. It doesn't bother me at all. But Willie B bringing that charge to the ballpark, man, literally set the tone for the game again. And it's just nice to see, man. And I know it sounds repetitive and it sounds like the same thing over and over again, but Willie Beeman. Thoughts?
Tonight, I think it's an in-game adjustment too for me. I think that's the most exciting piece. You wonder if Will can learn on the fly and if he's somebody that can adjust to what's going on, or is he just a hot streak guy? He gets absolutely buckled by a slow curveball. And when you're saying kudos to him. He's got 20 mile an hour worth of difference between that sinker ball that he was throwing at 98 and then the curveball that he's flipping up there at 78. And he buckled Benson in the first inning with one of those. And then he caught that slow breaking ball again that hung in the zone, and he absolutely tattooed it. So he goes back in, takes a look at what beats him. I don't know if that's guessing. If he's guessing, man, Beeman, get to the casino tonight too, brother, because you're hitting it hard. and whatever it is that he's doing it right. Everything seems like a beach ball. He does have a couple of strikeouts to pair along with the home run, but it's the in-game adjustment, I think, that gets me more excited than anything this evening, because that tells me it's something that can continue. It's not a flash in the pan. It's something that can go forward.
And to that point, this is his first start in left field at a 6:40 start time, fighting that nasty sun out in left field. And he made a couple of nice balls that we've seen it before, where they got up in the air, and Gavin Lux is doing one of these numbers. So it's nice to see. I mean, they even saw it or made a point to show him getting ready with a glove in his face and the whole 9 yards. Like, he was doing everything he can to fight off that sun. That's never an easy job. And being the first time out there, it was nice to see him make the needed adjustments, like you say, to give us a solid left field outing too as well. So yeah, like Willie's just a star right now, man. And for the last 72 hours, he is our MVP.
And I think what's lost too is Ciccone was rolling. Like, I think he had faced maybe two over the minimum at that point. Like, he was really making short work of the Reds. And when it almost felt like when Schneemann got that hit, that it was insurmountable, or got his home run, it was insurmountable. So it's just instrumental to see, or it's incredible to see how much that, I think, changed the momentum there. Ciccone still ends up with 8 strikeouts, and he gets those 2 earned runs at the end that Cade Smith maybe gave up one of his earned runs, but still, like, he was pitching very well and very sharp up until that point. So to see that, like you said, that adjustment is just so encouraging to see. That's the type of stuff that keeps you in the big leagues for a while. You know, if you can see what they're throwing you and then adjust to the adjustment, that's how you have a long big league career. And that's so nice to see.
Sorry, Eric, I just got to give you the floor there. I didn't realize you were indisposed.
Yeah, it's all good. No, I think to add on to it, the fact that Rhys Hines also homers in a game on a ball that's absolutely drilled to center field, it's those guys, and you sit back and wonder, like, man, what would this have looked like if they're up here in middle of April? You know what I mean? What if we cut the Blake Dunn, Jacob Hurtabeast, Jake Fraley extravaganza a couple weeks shorter than what we've done? You know, because these guys have been hitting the cover off the ball at AAA for a significant period of time before coming up here in this last week. And Rhys Hines wasn't even in the projected lineup until Gavin Lux. What was it? It was back spasms, I think is what I read.
Yeah, back spasms.
Yeah, so spasms keep him out. Rhys Hines gets injected into the lineup last minute. Everything kind of reshuffles, and he's out there. He plays a good right field. I thought he was close to live because I was sitting in left field looking across. It looked like he was close to that ball. I think on the replay that I saw later on, it wasn't quite as close. But you know, he's out there giving it everything he's got. He makes a really nice play in right field on a ball that was sinking on him that he keeps in front of him. That I've seen Jake Fraley let get by. Yeah, and then they get a double play right after that. And so these dudes are contributing with the glove. They're contributing with the bat in a big way. And like you said, what's a Blake Dunn at bat look like in that Rhys Hines situation if it's still sitting here at 3-1? You know what I mean? And then Tony Santiago or, you know, Luis May, if somebody gets on, the pressure that puts on just by walking one guy, you know, there's so much more energy and tension that happens when it's a 2-run lead versus a 3-run lead. That was a massive run that Rhys Hines gave us there. And you love to see it. It's a contribution from up and down the lineup. Again, it's not, I don't know that you call it leadership, but it's energy. And that's what you continue to see. But then you see the leadership to me and what Spencer Steer did. Go get in that umpire's grill. Those were some BS check swings that he was given. The zone has been unfortunate. Now, I do believe that Elly De La Cruz needs to figure out and sit and watch a bunch of balls on the outside part of the plate because every time he goes down looking, it's on a ball away. Elly doesn't understand where the strike zone is on the outer half of the plate. I don't want to get negative tonight, but at the same time, when you take 4 strikeouts in a night, we've got to mention it. You're a part of this team. You're hitting in the 3-hole. You had a couple of opportunities to drive some guys in. That's a terrible situation. But Spencer Steer then goes down looking, and he gets in the umpire's grill a little bit in a game that you're winning. It's very easy to be in the depths of things and on a 3-game slide, and the way Spencer Steer's been hitting, to all of a sudden get run from a game. It's a mercy killing to get him out of there because he wasn't going to hit anyway. But in a game that you're winning, in a game that you need him, it's awesome. And kudos to Spencer Steer for stepping up and being that guy that's finally going to show some emotion and tell an umpire that, hey, man, our dugout ain't happy with what you got going on. I don't think Tito's going to come out here and get run, but if you need to run me, so be it. I'm glad he didn't because, as Chris Welsh mentioned on the radio, if Steer can continue to play the way that he does over at first base, I don't know what he's going to do with the stick. If he can hit enough to stay in the lineup, Spencer Steer's going to win a Gold Glove over there, man. He's playing some incredible defense over at first base. He's making a lot of the very tough plays for some other guys, your Austin Wynns, your Tyler Stevenson, some guys that we're wanting to see get filled in there. There's a lot of plays there that he's making them look easy. He's a natural second baseman. He's always said that's his favorite place to play. You know, but kudos to Spencer Steer for what he's doing with the glove and keeping us in a lot of ball games. We absolutely love to see it.
Yeah, we rode him a little hard last night. Just what he's doing at the plate and that stuff offensively because we need more out of that first base spot. But what he's providing on the defensive end, he had a nice pick last night. Made a couple good plays tonight. So you're exactly right. Having Spencer Steer there is definitely going to solidify this lineup a little bit more. You were down at the ballpark tonight, weren't you, Eric?
I was. I got a chance. I was actually sitting right behind Willie for that sun right in your face. My God, that is a brutal sun that sits up there for 2.5 innings. And then the cloud cover came in, unfortunately, right when the guards were in the outfield. And by the time the cloud cover went away, it was down in behind the stands there. But, man, that 6:40 start time is brutal with that sun. And Willie did a great job. I think he made all 3 putouts in the first inning, all 3 on fly balls that are hit right to him. And like you said, we've seen guys get up and give the arms out like, I don't know where it's at. I don't see it, and have it bounce on the track and be a leadoff triple. You know, we've gone down that path and given up some dumb luck runs. But, you know, kudos to him and what he's doing. He wasn't going to play left field. This was Gavin Lux was scratched, an hour before first pitch?
Yeah, and then he got moved got moved from right to left, didn't he?
He goes from right to left. So it's not like he's out there taking balls, getting used to it and getting acclimated. He just went on instinct and gutted it out and did what the team needed him to do. That's what has to happen. And I think that's what it was our fourth topic on the rundown, but let's go ahead and get into it. And our second topic being the small ball of Santiago Espinal, doing what the team needs you to do. The defense is going to give you an inch, take the freaking mile. He shows bunt in the first two. I think it's a 3-pitch at bat total. First pitch, crashing hard from first base to the point that he's in Santiago Espinal's pocket, getting ready to take that bunt and throw it down to third base the way TJ Friedl gave it out away 2 weeks ago. And he takes a look, he takes a ball, he shows bunt, pulls it back, and then he shows bunt, pulls it back, and Butcher Boys won right over second base. And that is a big run to get us up 2-1 and really got things going. Austin Hayes then doubles with an error and ends up at third base. That makes it 3-1. And you extend your lead later, but that little bit of small ball and something that it's a game that we come from behind, and it's just an unbelievable situation to see it all play out. Love that I was there for a little bit of it. Unfortunately, I missed all 4 runs. I had my back turned to it, so maybe tonight wasn't the night I was supposed to be in the ballpark, but I'll be down there tomorrow to see us sweep it.
There we go.
It was pretty interesting because Larkin was talking about it as it was happening, and you said that Welsh also mentioned something about it on the radio broadcast. It's one of those things where it's like the way that they were crashing so hard. Larkin made the comment that it was like what you would do with a pitcher, like back when the pitchers used to hit. It's like sure they could pull it back and swing away, but you didn't feel like they could do that. They could really do any damage. Espinal's maybe our best contact hitter, so it's like for them to crash like that and then him just say, "All right, here you go, serve one out into right field." It was huge. I was thrilled that was how we were choosing to do that. Even bunting initially, I was okay with that. I know I saw earlier some optimistic John was talking about. It's like, hey, why weren't they bunting on certain areas? I think that Espinal probably had the bunt on and just was like, actually, I'm just going to take the single instead.
Make a play, absolutely.
Yeah, but I don't hate a bunt there either because it's one of those where it's tough when you taking the power bat out of somebody's hands, right? But Espinal hasn't hit a homer yet. Getting him in a position for the defense to make a bad play, at least at worst, get the guy over third base. And then what we got to see instead was him driving in the run. I think this is a perfect spot for him. I know we spent, a couple, maybe like 10 minutes talking about how we don't think that Espinal should be batting second against right-handed pitching. Maybe we still don't, but he came up big in that situation. And, I'm appreciative of that, that type of baseball IQ is something that I think a lot of Reds fans are not used to. We've been conditioned for people to make the wrong play, hit the wrong cutoff, get picked off, all this kind of stuff. And to see that actually go in our favor is just like unbelievably refreshing.
Yeah. And I've, on top of that, the small ball of your leadoff hitter being the guy that's standing on second base. TJ Friedl has that just enough pop to be able to be that guy that gets extra base hits on a consistent basis. He's got a little bit of pop. He can send one into the right field seats. Not very far. He's like a 4 or 5 row into the right field seats guy. But putting that ball into the corner and hooking it down there and having the wherewithal to get to second base and, beats a good throw, but, he does get in there and being in the position and setting the table for those guys. That's that spot where if he's on second, we love Espinal in the 2-hole. If he's on first, I hate Espinal in the 2-hole.
Yeah. And that was an aggressive turn by Friedl. Sorry, Corey. Nolan Jones in right field has a cannon. Like he's throwing balls over 100 miles an hour in. And so the fact that he was going to test that and try to get into scoring position was an aggressive and it paid off. But their outfield arms are incredible. And so, just that alone, I think sparks some energy for that inning, which is really cool to see.
You'll find that's a theme on our show, Mike. We like to talk crap about guys, and the next night they come out and either prove us wrong or you know what I mean. So that seems to be a theme on us. And I saw somebody
along Reds fandom in general. I think.
Yeah, it seems to be the case a lot. I did see somebody in the chat said Espy needs an Espy. I kind of like that. I ain't gonna lie.
I like
got a nice ring to it.
I'm not sure which one, but
absolutely. Well, not only that, just the hustle to score from first on that double by Austin Hayes. That was just a straight hustle play and an absolute confidence booster. I know I stood up and gave him the old tiger fist bump and got us going. So even just the hustle on top of the smart baseball, man, it's just fun. It's fun to see, and it just makes for a more exciting night at the ballpark. Eric, if people were wanting to join you at the ballpark, how would one go about getting tickets? Where would a good place to be?
Well, if you want to get online and go down there and watch our Red Legs sweep this first set of the Ohio Cup, you can get yourself on Game Time. The Game Time app is awesome. It's very user intuitive. You can buy with one tap if you got your credit card preloaded. It's the best way to do it. I actually bought a parking pass for tomorrow because I found out there's another event going on over at Heritage Bank. And so I jumped on Game Time today. Didn't get a chance to use promo code CBOX because I've already been a user for a little while. But Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Chatterbox Sports. Like I said, I used it today, got myself a parking pass for tomorrow, so I'll be really excited to get down there. But they have all-in pricing. It shows you everything before the fees. A lot of times, and some of the biggest ticketing websites, even directly from ball clubs, sometimes can be very expensive in fees where you get shown, $15 seats, and by the time you're said and done, it's a $27 seat. And that's not what it is here at Game Time. On Game Time, you get everything all included right there, right off the bat. You have event cancellation protection, automatic full refunds for events that are canceled and not rescheduled. Not sure what's going on with that Zach Brown show that was canceled at TQL the other night, but if that decides not to get made up, I imagine that would fall in to your Game Time cancellation policy. You have panoramic seat views in the app. They have the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code CBOX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create the account and redeem the code CBOX for $20 off. Love our guys at Game Time. Super happy to have them be a part of the show. Was using them long before we had a chance to join these Chatterbox Reds folks, and we'll continue to use them in the future because, like I said, it's super easy. And once you're in there, the initial $20 off is awesome, but the customer service after that and everything that you get included with that app, and just the ease and the opportunity to kind of scour around it. If you're in a familiar venue, like I've been down to the ballpark quite a few times this year already, I know where I want to sit, I know where I want to be, and it can, in less than 30 seconds, I can have myself secured to whatever game I want to get to.
You're actually the one that turned me on to the Game Time app long before our Chatterbox days, man. And I've used it on more than one occasion, and it's absolutely fantastic. And they are right. The competitive pricing, even the last minute tickets. I'm all, me, Eric. I'm a last ticket guy. I never know if I'm showing up or not. So I may be at the ballpark tomorrow. You never know. But if I am, man, I'll be using the Game Time app. So I may see you down there.
Hey, Eric, I looked up the outs above average for first baseman, and I know defensive metrics are all over the place. Some people love them, some people hate them. I take them. I think that each one of them can give good things, but Spencer Steer's at 1 out above average, which doesn't seem like much, but he's tied for 8th there of all first basemen there. And more importantly, Jeimer Candelario is at 0. Christian Encarnacion Strain is at -1. So he's definitely passable, but if the more he gets reps there, I see what you're saying. And just like being able to get some really, really valuable defense out of a guy over first base.
And when you put him with Santiago Espinal playing third base and Elliott Short and Matt McClain at second, I'd put our defensive infield up against just about anybody. And then tonight, getting a chance to see Reese Hines play right field, getting a chance to see Will Benson play left and Friedl in center. Boys, I'm really liking that 8 from a defensive standpoint. Trevino behind the plate. Like that's a really good defense. And it gives you, it gives you the opportunity of, why does Tito go into a bullpen game in that situation? Because he knows he's got a defense that can protect these guys. He gets Suter he gets Suter for 3, Richardson for 2, Luis May, Tony Santillan, Graham Ashcraft, and Emilio Pagán. And every single one of those guys was backed up with a defense that was ready to go and deliver. So, I mean, the more these guys can play as a team and just do whatever it takes to get the win, that's what I love to see. I'm some of my favorite Reds growing up were the Chris Steins and the Ryan Friedls of the world, where it didn't matter where you put them, they were going to try to contribute. They weren't set in these roles and saying that I have to be this, I have to be that. Gone are the days of Raisel Iglesias saying, if you bring me in outside of the 9th, I'm not going to throw well. To hell with that, man. Get these guys in spots, get them where they're comfortable. I get it, but at the same time, if the team needs you, the team needs you, and come in and contribute. Will Benson didn't hang his head and mope and crying his Cheerios over the fact that he was sent down to AAA. He came up and said, you know what, I've got something to prove. And he had if anybody in the world had a reason to be spiteful, it was an 0-for-4 day in San Francisco and right back to AAA earlier in the season for him. But he comes back with the right head on his shoulders and says, you know what, I'm going to contribute. And man, contribute he has. Grant Harmon, I see you over there in the chat. Beeman and Hines, who would have thought? Beeman and Hines, who would have thought? I'm not going to lie, not me. Not me at all.
I tell you who would have thought was your boy Nick Kirby, probably before all the rest of us. He's been on that one for quite a while, but it's really nice to see, man. The added addition that those two bring, just the power alone, man. It's just nice to see the power in the lineup, especially not having Candelario and CES with them being out injured and all that. It's nice to see that extra power in the lineup. So who would have thought? But I'm here for the ride, baby. I love it. I'm on board.
Oh yeah. Are we gonna talk about this bullpen here? I figured let's go just down the line. All of them deserve credit here.
Absolutely.
Let's start with Suter. 3 innings, just threw the whole lineup once. And I think he got Quan twice.
Yeah.
I think Quan maybe got a single off him, but
yeah, he singled the first time, but got him that second time.
Man, that was so clutch. Getting all of that. Only 1 strikeout, so he's just getting soft contact and stuff like that. What did you guys think of Suter's performance here, leading us off, getting 3 innings of length there?
I absolutely loved it. We talked about it last night in the chat after the game that Suter was going to be the opening pitcher. I kind of like the opening pitcher role, especially not knowing what you're going to get with Chase Petty. You're going to need a long arm out of the bullpen anyway. But Suter's just absolute nails. For the second time this year, when he's called upon to throw the first pitch of the game, he's been nothing but absolutely solid. So you're exactly right. Brent Suter deserves all the flowers in the world, and it was quick work of it. Don't get me wrong, but it was one right after the other, and I just that repetitiveness and coming back to the plate quick, and it throws the hitters off, and I love what Brent Suter brings, and when he can do that in the front end of the game, man, it really eases up everything on the back end, and you get to watch masterminds like Tito scratch his head over there and just go to work. So it makes it fun.
And I hate to sound like an echo in here, but at the same time, he does whatever the team needs him to do.
Mm-hmm.
You need me to come in because we're getting blasted by 7 runs. Got it, coach. Give me the ball. You want me to open up a game because we got a kid that's been a little shaky in his first couple starts and they're heavy left-handed start of the lineup. I got it. Give me the ball, coach. I'm in. And just no questions asked. Go in, do your job as good as you can. You can't give him enough flowers. It's awesome to see. Man, when you want to talk about working quick, I had it in my head, like knowing I needed to get back here for the podcast. I'm about on an absolutely perfect drive, which is what it was tonight. It's about a 26-minute drive from the East Garage back to my driveway. And I'm watching those first 3 innings. We start that game at 6:40. I look down. I'm like, damn, I'm going to be here for like 20 minutes, man. I got to get back to the house. We got to think, if these last 5 innings go as quick as the first 4 did, I'm in deep. I'm not going to make it in time for this podcast, or get back in time for the live stream tonight. But glad I did. Glad everything kind of slowed down through the fact that we were scoring some runs and made some innings elongate there. But yeah, Suter is an unbelievable character. I kind of made fun of him at the beginning of the year. Even kind of mentioned, like, does he have to be on this team after he got shelled in spring training?
Where would we be without him? We would be so lost. Yeah.
Hands up. I was the first one to badmouth him.
That's because Rogers has been a little bit disappointing too. He's just been our nails lefty out of the bullpen. It's been great to see.
Yeah, with the struggles of Sam Mole and Taylor Rogers, he's definitely been the one consistent left-hander that we have coming out of the pen. And even your boy Lyon Richardson, he did have the one hiccup. It kind of reminded me of last night when Santiago gave up the one hiccup. But to just bounce back and close the door, get out of that inning and not give up any more.
That's right.
I don't have all the numbers right in front of me, but I don't think we gave up any walks again either.
No, that is important. 0 walks for the Reds. Yeah,
not giving up the free passes, man. One, it keeps your pitch count down. It keeps the guys off base. It keeps the solo homers not being daggers. So there's something to be said for that too. But Lyon Richardson, 2 innings pitched, he gave up 3 hits, did have the 1 strikeout, but Lyon Richardson definitely deserves his credit too. He's been a good glue man in between some rough starts when we've needed him.
And good call, man. That home run he gave up was a cheapie. You're exactly right. He mentions in the chat that home run was a Great American Ballpark cheapie. Wind was blowing out that way too. There was a decent amount of breeze going out that direction. That yes, that ball shouldn't carry to the seats, and that's I don't know what it dawned.
7 of 30 parks is what it says.
There it is.
So only 7. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so like Yankee Stadium, Tampa Bay's George Steinbrenner Field, which is just the exact same dimensions as Yankee Stadium. Houston, these are believe it or not, that one would have been out in Seattle, but yeah,
that's surprising.
I know, I thought that one was huge, but yeah, so yeah, I'm with you. That one's a Great American Ballpark special.
Absolutely. And I'll be honest with you, I was kind of surprised before the game when they were throwing out the first pitch and Greg Biffle was standing out there with Luis May. Luis May is a unit, boys. That dude is huge. Was 6'5", 235, I think is what they've got him listed at. I swear to God, he's bigger than that. That dude was absolutely massive. And was he cranked up for tonight or what? Going over 100 pretty consistently. I think he only had a couple pitches in the 98, 99 range, which I don't know what happened there.
101.3, 101.2, 100.9, 100.9, 100.8. Top five pitch velocities of the game, and a game in which Class A pitched too. You know, it's like their flamethrower came out and ours was just better. So that's crazy.
Right.
And how nice is it to watch an opposing team try to fire their bullet of like, we're going to put our stopper in here and we're going to give ourselves a chance to go get this thing in the top of the ninth, and he gets pulled mid inning.
Yeah, it doesn't even.
Yeah, he gets the 21 pitches and they have to pull him so that they can save him for tomorrow. That's a small ball situation too. Take a walk, work a hit, do whatever you got to do. Make that cat throw pitches and try to go get yourself a series sweep tomorrow. That's awesome. I mean, that stuff pays dividends down the line, man. It's great to see these guys contribute, even if it's in the smallest pattern possible. If it's Spencer Steer chewing out an umpire, if it's Reese Hines laying on a ball in right field that he doesn't let get by him, but still makes an effort to try and catch it on the fly. If it's Santiago Espinal hitting the butcher boy, whatever it takes, go do your job and let's string together some wins, because this Reds team feels like it's ready to start rolling. And some of these at bats, somebody mentioned it in the chat just a minute ago, so I'm a little worried about it as well. In this home run happy system that we've had the last couple of days, that does make you susceptible to getting shut out again, because those home runs don't always happen. And so you would like to find a little bit more average and cut down on the 15 strikeouts, but that's where Ellie and Matt have to come through and be your leaders on the team.
Well, and you've even seen it in the last couple of days, how many times that they showed the bunt and pulled it back and that sort of stuff. So you can kind of tell what's in the back of their head. And we even talked about it during the ninth inning stuff, or it might even have been before the ninth inning stuff. Matt McLean's had a quiet, 18-game on-base streak.
I know.
So when stuff like that's happening, the small ball is totally getting there. And Mike, you alluded to it before we were talking about it too. It's almost felt like Tito's needed some time to get rid of some of our old habits and that sort of stuff to try to get into more of the small ball play and not necessarily having to sit back and rely on the home run. It's nice to have it when you need it, but it almost seems like it's taken just a little bit of while to get there. And maybe we're getting more to where he's comfortable and he knows who can handle the bat in what situations and that sort of thing. And so I feel like that's going to play into our strength too. Tito's coming into his own just like the rest of our lineup is. You're getting used to it. So I think it's exciting times ahead. I think the ability to play both small ball and kind of sit and wait for that power when we need it is definitely a good ability to have.
Yeah, we forget that these guys are humans sometimes. They're not MLB The Show players that you can just like plug in and do things, right? These are guys that have, they've been playing under one manager with one manager style for a long time. And yeah, Tito's different and, better in some ways and maybe not as good in others, but just like adapting to that in the month and a half of spring training is just, there's no way that was going to happen. So it's good to see positive growth. It felt like for a little bit, we were just like seeing regression. Right. And I think maybe that was just injuries that were bothering us. But to see positive growth of this team is just refreshing, because it always felt like, David Bell's teams kind of just sat in one spot and either just petered out or got actively worse, right? Because people got injured and there was a lack of depth and stuff like that. So it's, if we can see positive movement throughout the rest of this year and, we move to getting above 500, move to getting in the wild card race, move to potentially even pushing for that division title, like that is what the Reds need to see. We've been sitting under just this guise of, next year will be our year, we're coming. And it's like, that's now. We got to waiting. Eventually, you're just going to start losing people. And so I just like, it's good to see, even though we have our hiccups, we have our getting shut out a bunch. I like the momentum and the trajectory in which it seems like this team is going on a playing the game the right way type aspect of things.
Yeah, and you remind everybody that these guys are human. They're not video game characters that you can expect to just go out and deliver every time. Would we love them to? Absolutely. But even a 330 hitter, we're pissed off two out of every 3 at bats. You know what I mean? Like that's going to happen. So when you take into that account, but I think the fun part about the way the team's going now, when you're able to play the small ball, and I think that's something that we've been kind of waiting on. You went from being a team that they were waiting on the next guy will do it. I'm waiting on somebody else to take care of business. I'm waiting on. They kind of pass the buck around to the point that you get shut out and nobody ever actually takes care of business. But when you in a younger team with momentum being such a big thing, and it makes me feel like this team could get on a hot streak and win, challenge that, 10, 11 game, 12 game win streak. Like, I feel like this team's completely capable of that with the starting pitching and the youth movement, because momentum is such a big thing. Momentum comes from big splash plays. When you need them to happen as home runs, that's negative momentum when they don't. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if I'm fully articulating the way that I want to there, but when you need the home run, it's not coming. But when they happen as a part of the game, but you can also rely on your small ball to get you across the finish line and, keep you in a ball game. If the only play that happens tonight is Santiago Espinal, Butcher Boy, this is a tie game going to the 10th inning. Right? Like, and then we have our opportunity and we can tie this game up and we can compete with small ball. But the home run sends you over the edge and carry you that momentum and carry you to a series win on a Saturday night that always feels good. And you're going out and putting the women and children to bed and going hunting tomorrow. So go get that sweep and can't wait to see how this thing plays out the rest of the way.
That's right. And then, so after May, we just went to the horses. He just said, "Hey, sorry, Chase Petty, not tonight. We got the lead. We're gonna go get this win here." And then we see Ashcraft come in and just look pretty dominant. Like, I think that he was even getting squeezed, and he still, just made Cleveland look silly.
And
when he
growth
is
from
on,
him too on that, yeah.
Yeah.
The growth from him, because Ashcraft is a guy that would get rattled by getting squeezed. Ashcraft's a guy that would lose his damn mind in a lot of these situations. Kudos to him, growing up, getting better, understanding his role, knowing that the team needs him, doing what he can, and putting the team on his back there.
Oh yeah,
Graham's been absolute nails as far as what we've needed from him. If we've needed 3 or 4 innings, he's been able to give it to us. He's had a couple of hiccups here and there, but like you say, he hasn't gotten down on himself. He's come back out the next night and powered through it. And that's the Graham Ashcraft you like to see, man. He's I made a reference to it last weekend. He's kind of our Rob Dibble, man. He's our nasty boy coming out of there. The guys feed off of it, gets our bullpen going, and then Santiago and Pagán coming in the 9th. It's not in order with our the way the alphabet goes, but it's our GPS system. Graham, Pagán, Santiago. That's our back end of the bullpen right there, man. I freaking love it. I love it.
And Santiago didn't get the 9th, but he faces their 2 best hitters, Quan and Ramirez, with the man on in the 8th. So almost arguably a more important, a more difficult task. I know it's not the 9th and it's not the pressure of getting the save, but you give up that single to the 9 hitter, and then you have Stephen Kwan coming up, and then Jose Ramirez behind him. It's like that has the essence of being a big inning, and he just gets them both to fly out. And man, I believe Nick has talked about this. He's just kind of an unsung hero here because he's not getting the saves racking up, but he is coming in no matter what in some of the toughest situations and just for the most part shutting the door down. And that is great. That's just so necessary for teams like this that just get overlooked and make just such a huge difference.
It always seems like Tito has that guy too, man. He like Andrew Miller, and they don't necessarily rack up the saves and give you the numbers and that sort of thing, but they're that guy that can bring in the 8th inning and bridge you to what is the 9th inning, what is going to be the closer, whatever the case may be as far as that's concerned. But Tito's always seemed to kind of have that guy, and Tony Santillane's fitting that mold big time. If you need an out, you know who to bring out of the pen.
And that's hard to do. You got to have cachet like Tito does to convince the guys like, hey, man, your numbers are going to look worse because you're not going to have the saves. You will probably get less in arbitration. I'm sure he doesn't say this, but this is what the players are thinking. He's like, saves are what get me money in arbitration and get me paid in free agency. And he's just like, he's convinced this dude that even though he could be doing that, it's best for the team to go out and get the hardest guys at the 7th and the 8th. And, that's what a Hall of Fame manager is able to do. He's able to convince a guy to do what's best for the team. And that's really cool.
That's a great point. That could be another one of those little Tito changes that we're seeing that David Bell necessarily couldn't do. You know what I mean? When it's coming from a guy like Tito, he's got a way of making it sound sweet as sugar. So it's when you've got a guy like that pumping you up, it's hard not to be like, yes, sir. And what do you need me to do? And Tony Santillané has definitely fit that mold.
You see the World Series rings and you say, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so we've talked about Luis May. We've talked about did we talk about Lyon Richardson enough? I think we've covered him, covered Graham, covered Santiago. Emilio Pagán settling in, boys. I know we talked about it. He didn't just Corey, you and I talked about it early in the season when it was, hey, Emilio Pagán has said all the right things and said, hey, listen, there's a really good closer sitting down there that's going to come back healthy in Alexis Diaz, and I'll do whatever this team needs me to do. If it's save games right now, I'm in. But if it means setting the table for him later, I'm also down. And we had mentioned that is Alexis Diaz willing to do the same thing? Come to find out, it's not that he wasn't willing. We never really found out with Alexis Diaz. He's not capable right now. He's not throwing enough strikes. I think he gets shelled again, has a rough outing down in AAA again the other night. So seems like that IL stint is going to continue until he can start to figure out how to throw strikes. But, the up and down of Alexis Diaz seems like it might be, it's Pagán's to hold on to for a really long time. And hate to sound like a broken record, but don't let him see your backup because Alexis Diaz, sorry, man, between the injury list and you not throwing strikes, Emilio Pagán's now taking your job, and there's zero reason to give it up right now.
Yeah, I think too, like he gave up those runs on his second inning of work too in Chicago. I know we needed it because the bullpen was spent, but yeah. Was he at fault there? Like he had the bottom of the lineup and he walked a couple, like let guys get on and then, gave up that big home run. Was that on him? Yeah. But I think, if we can continue to just get, the starting pitching, I guess we got bullpen pitching here today, but just starting pitching that lets us put these people in the right situations, then I feel a lot better about Pagán. I don't think he's not a 50 save guy, but he's a guy that if we can get him into a clean inning, maybe even, and he's got a little bit of a cushion here. I feel pretty good that he's going to pump strikes in there and he's going to get the job done.
I think so too. And even that second inning, like you were talking about, that was more of a necessity move than anything else. And Tito even came after the game and was talking about how he felt bad for the guy and had to be put in that situation because we were pretty taxed at the bullpen right there. So asking Pagán to go 2 innings is probably a little bit much, but you're exactly right. I mean, he's fitting that mold. He brings that fire. He says all the right things, does all the right things. And I'm a fan. I enjoy bringing Pagán in the ninth. It's not one of those where I'm holding my breath, wondering if the tying run's going to come to the plate like we always joked about. So it's kind of refreshing. I'm not 100% sold on him being like a 50 save guy, like you say, but by the same token, you got to start somewhere. And I feel like we're starting off on the right foot with Pagán.
What do you think they do tomorrow? They threw all their bullets today, and Chase Petty's still sitting out there. Do they bring him in as long reliever tomorrow? Do they send him down and bring up somebody to refresh the pen? What do you think they do tomorrow for pitching wise?
That's a great question. Hopefully we can get the solid 6 innings that we usually get out of Andrew Abbott. So if we can get Andrew Abbott's usual outing and get to the 6th, I think that helps us out a lot. I wouldn't surprise me to see Petty maybe used in a bridge situation right there, do like a 7th and an 8th and try to get us to the 9th situation. But that's a great question, man. I'm honestly not sure because like you say, we are pretty taxed after coming off of a bullpen game. But it'd be interesting to see what Tito's got in the back of his head for tomorrow.
I love the idea of maybe lining up a double pitcher situation where you start Andrew Abbott, who doesn't throw the hardest from the left side, and then you bring in Gas from the right side and Chase Petty and just have him stay warm. You tell him like, hey, man, if you're out there, if things start to go south, get yourself warmed up and be ready. But at the same time, like we're probably just going to key you in for the 5th because they're trying to protect Andrew Abbott anyway. They've skipped days. They've skipped the spot in the rotation when they've had the opportunity with off days. They've flat out said like, hey, we want to protect Andrew Abbott because he's run out of gas at the end of the season. So if tomorrow is a 4-inning start for Andrew Abbott to go into a 4-inning relief appearance from Chase Petty, I'm perfectly fine with that because the contrast and what you do to flip a lineup, and what the Guardians have, maybe that gives you an advantage going into it. Looking into it last night, they haven't updated with everything tonight, but like Taylor Rogers threw 2 days in a row, 17 and 12 pitches. Scott Barlow hasn't thrown in 3 days, so Scott Barlow should be available.
He's available, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, Brent Suter throws 3 innings tonight, so you would imagine Suter's unavailable.
40-something pitches or something like that.
Yeah. So he would come out, he'd throw with his right arm. If
47. Yeah. 40. I've got the numbers here. Is 47 for Suter, 33 for Richardson, 16 only for May, so he's probably available. Ashcraft only 14, so he had 5 yesterday and 14 today. So maybe he's available 3 days in a row. Santiago at 15. I don't know if Santiago and Pagán 2 days in a row. I don't know if we can see them 3 in a row. So I would imagine those two are probably, down tomorrow. Just not available unless in case of emergency, maybe Ashcraft. But
first guns, I think you have Taylor Rogers after an off day today. Luis May would be on a 2nd day in a row, but he had a couple of days off before that. And so I think Luis May can go. I think you've got I'd probably set Luis May as your closer if I had to guess.
Yeah. And
You know
Ned
what I mean?
Flanders is talking about that in the chat too. Luis May is your closer there.
Yeah, and somebody else mentioned they love the idea of a Chase Petty opener. I actually like it as an Andrew Abbott start. I don't mess with that. If there's somebody that's not going to be on the roster after the ball game tomorrow, it's more likely to be Chase Petty than it is going to be Andrew Abbott. And so I'd rather put him in the uncomfortable situation and be able to wash your hands of it going into Monday. But at the same time, the way Chase Petty has started games, I want to get him in a better headspace. Maybe give him a 4-run lead or a 5-run deficit. You know, you can hand him a tie game. Like anything could happen, but just give him something different than what you've handed him the first couple of times around, because what you've given him and what he's been able to do with a 0-0 game, handing him the ball in the first inning, has not fared well for the Redlegs.
Yeah, that's your answer. Your answer is score a bunch of runs in the first 3 innings of the game. That's how we navigate it. Yeah.
And that's true. Well, I would like to, if they're going to use Taylor Rogers, I don't bring Taylor Rogers in with runners on. When that guy inherits runners, they are scoring no matter what. So we're going to bring Taylor Rogers in. Let's bring him in a clean inning, because I would rather see my mother pitch out of the bullpen than watch Taylor Rogers with runners in scoring position. It's really eating at me. I'm not going to lie to you. So let's at least give the guy a clean slate and hopefully he can get a good start, because he's been behind the 8 ball big time, and we need another solid lefty out of the pen, especially when we're going to use Suter like we are. So it'd be nice to have a second option with a left-hander, but. Yeah,
talking about bringing Mom in out of the bullpen. I'm not even sure if she's right-handed or left-handed. That's how few she's.
I was gonna say I heard she's a flamethrower. So in Rogers' defense, there's a high standard here.
Right? Yeah.
No, we would all be needing to call 988 if Mom comes in out of the pen. We'd all be in some trouble. But 988, we want to remind you that you can call or text 988 anytime, day or night. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is a great place to get support for anything related to mental health, whether it's an immediate crisis, simply wanting to find out how to connect with care, or anything in between. It's a 100% confidential, secure, and anonymous way to reach out for help when you don't know where else to turn. To connect, call or text 988 or mantherapy.org to get help. It's okay not to be okay. We're currently sitting at 585 folks in here. If we can all remember that number 988 and spread that word out there, if it's as popular as 911 in terms of like where folks call when they're in that pinch, it's something it's a resource for folks, and it really is a great thing to have as a community resource. So, what they've developed over there, and the folks that are waiting for you on the other end of the line. If you're in a dark place, reach out. Get in our group chat, call 988, make sure that we understand what our resources are there, because they really have done a terrific job in helping folks.
Absolutely. Just go ahead and clip that and send it to every single Will Benson hater because Will Benson haters need 988 right now so bad they can't stand it. They're eating that sandwich big time, and I love it. I ain't going to lie to you. Willie Benson's bringing that charge back, man. I am so dang excited. I haven't had a smile on my face like this for a while.
Well, boys, I mean, we've done a pretty good job of it. Mike, what do you got?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's talk a little bit about the pitcher that the Guardians are going to be tossing out for them, Luis L. Ortiz. It looks like he's going to be the starter for them. We already talked a little bit about Abbott and all we're expecting, but Luis Ortiz looks like he's got a 2-4 record with a 4.78 ERA. We've made worse ERAs look better, so let's hope that we can get on him quickly. It looks like the active Reds are 6 for 37. That's a 162 average. Steer with 1 hit. Steer is 1 for 10. De La Cruz is 1 for 8. Friedl 1 for 6. Espinal 1 and 5. Stevenson 1 and 4. Where they've seen him before is he was on the Pirates. So last year he was on the Pirates. I think he faced the Reds twice last year. And 12 innings pitched, 1 run, 12 strikeouts in those 2 starts. So
sounds like we're due.
I know, that's right. We haven't seen him well, and we're gonna jump him early and get some good run support for this ailing bullpen. Is there anything else that you're looking forward to tomorrow, or what you're going to be looking for to see?
Another step up in understanding what your role is on this team. Andrew Abbott's not been touted as an ace. He's not even been touted as the number 2. We've always kind of pointed to Nick Lodolo as that, but he's been the number 2 guy for us this year. And in order to do that and to solidify himself as the number 2 man, he has to understand the weight that's on his shoulders tomorrow to deliver some depth and to eat some innings up. You're not known for being a guy that goes long in terms of the season, but can you be a guy that can give us 7, 8? Man, if he throws it, can you imagine what we're doing, or what Nick and Trace are talking about tomorrow night at 9:00 when they get on here? If he gives us like a complete game shutout and we're going off a sweep into this thing, and we're going into Pittsburgh, riding a 4-game winning streak. I think it's understanding what's at stake tomorrow and realizing that. Does the Ohio Cup matter to most folks? No, it really doesn't. But for folks like myself and Corey,
Does to me.
It does in this chat room.
If you're
It
in
does in
Columbus,
this chat
Ohio,
room.
if you're north of Cincinnati, if you're anywhere within it, guys, I was born in 1988. If I grew up and just had to choose a team, why in the hell would I choose the Cincinnati Reds? I've watched the Guardians. Actually, I watched the Indians win for a significant part of my lifetime. If I was to watch Cincinnati, I watched Ken Griffey Jr., but then he got hurt all the time and it didn't really matter. And so if you want to see winning, if you wanted to see winning baseball, you go north if you're a Cincinnati kid trying to make a decision. So these little series and things like that, we talk about and we poke around, but there is some fandom on the line that leads to future fans down the line that, I would love to see us, take this, not take it more seriously. We don't need a trophy or anything like that, but at the same time, there's battle lines being drawn here, and you've got to play winning baseball, and there's who happens to be on your schedule tomorrow.
We do need a trophy, and if you want a reason to come to the Cincinnati Reds fan base, we'll talk World Series championships. You want to come to Cincinnati over Cleveland? How about a World Series title? Let's talk about that. But I'm from the 1990 days, man. I'm from the wire-to-wire days. I'm not playing that game, man. This is winning baseball. You come down south to Cincinnati. Don't stay north. Bring yourself south. What we say? Lakes or
what was better than lakes?
That's
Rivers over lakes, baby.
Rivers
over lakes
exactly
all day. Let's do
you
this.
need a reason. We'll talk World Series titles. That's it. So
how about you, Mike? What are you looking forward to tomorrow?
Man, I want to see some offense. You mentioned Abbott giving us some length there. They do have a pretty lefty heavy lineup. Ramirez, I think his worst split is batting right-handed. Quan is left-handed. Manzardo is left-handed. Nolan Jones is left-handed. I could see Abbott giving a gem, which would be great. But what I want, how we get first two guys get on and LA hits a home run, make it 3-0 right out of the gate. How about that?
I love it. I
love
it.
that. That would
think we see a Sunday special that David Bell would have run out there, because we've got Austin Wentz hasn't seen a game in a long time.
Yeah.
Joe hasn't seen a game in a couple of days.
Joe wins, Hines all in the lineup.
Yeah, well, I mean, Hines gets to play tonight. I'd be okay with Hines going. I'd be okay with running it back with the same lineup we had tonight, honestly. Hopefully the back spasms from Gavin Lux have subsided, because against the right-handed pitcher, you need Gavin Lux. But don't throw me a Sunday special. I hate punting baseball games at any point in time in the season, but especially when you've got a 4-game heater going and you've got an opportunity to roll into Pittsburgh rolling high.
I think it's clear Tito, like today, would have been a way. He was like, wait a minute, this game is within reach here. We're going to go out and win this game. Like, I think today, if today shows anything, that Tito he's not throwing away games in the middle of the season. He understands the when you have a chance to go do something against a really good team, he's like, you need to go take it. So I think we're going to see hopefully Lux is back. It's just, I don't love us continuing to play down a man. So let's just hope he's back in the lineup and picks up right where he left off.
Absolutely. So he's one of the most consistent sticks we have. So having Gavin Lux in the lineup and just being healthy, it makes all the difference in the world, gives you a little bit more confidence. But I'm to the point now where I'm riding the high too. If this is going to be our roster for a while, which it looks like it is, because we got a lot of guys just now starting their rehab stints out in Arizona. It looks like this is going to be the nucleus. Whatever we got to keep to keep this nucleus hot. If it's giving Connor Joe a little bit of playing time, Austin wins, that sort of stuff. It's nice to keep those guys hot to have in your back pocket too. So I'm not 100% against the Sunday special. I don't want to mail it in by any stretch of imagination, but I do want to keep our guys hot and keep playing well, because we're going to keep this nucleus for the foreseeable future until we can get some guys healthy. So, and
give Abbott a reason to go out and be excited and like we talked about, he's got the weight on his shoulders to carry this team with some length tomorrow. Don't give him a Sunday special and say, hey man, by the way, we need you to throw a bunch, because not only do we need it for our bullpen, but also take a look at this lineup we're giving you. Don't expect much. Like don't make him down 2-0 to start this thing. You know what I mean? Like that's not what you do to a guy when you need him to perform at his best. So, but no, I absolutely loved it. Tonight's a lot of fun, man. This is a lot more fun to do when we're winning. Corey T, I think that puts us above 500. Mike, we're 2-0, man. We got to keep it rolling. Will you miss next Friday?
Yeah, I won't be on next Friday or Saturday.
So when we lose next Friday, it's Mike's fault. Just throw
just throw it at him. Yeah,
110% Mike's fault. But we will keep this thing going. We appreciate every single one of you in the chat. Cheers to you again, chat. Absolutely love all the comments. Keeps us rolling, keeps us honest. Call out our flaws, call out our mistakes, celebrate with us. We're all Reds fans. We're 593 strong in here tonight. please like the stream, like the podcast. Make sure if you need to listen back, if you missed a little bit
Tell
of
all
what we're
your
talking
friends.
about tonight, tell all your friends. Tell those Guardians fans to chime in for a little bit.
Yeah,
They
they'll
love
like
it.
this one, especially
Have
some-
this one.
We
Yeah,
had
if
some
you know
great
some
words
kids
for
up in the
Cleveland.
Columbus area, tell them this is what's waiting for them when they come down to the river, baby. This is what's up. So, no, but we absolutely love to get started strong in the Ohio Cup. But, yeah, Mike, any last thoughts?
Just go Reds.
There we
Let's
go.
get
Corey
a
T, you got
sweep.
anything?
Get out
As
the
always,
brooms.
go Reds, and let's get out the brooms. We'll see you boys next weekend.